Today I want to introduce three objects in Git. Three objects in Git are called blob, tree, commit. So think of it this way. How Git stores data is very similar to how we store our files on our computer. So blob is like a file, like these files, and then tree is like a directory, the directory you see here. And commit is somewhat complicated, but it's not really. Commit is, think of it as save button. When you work on some documentations or whatever, you always save it because you don't want to lose the work that you've been working on, right? And when you hit the save button, this will make commit objects, and it will have informations about your work at the time being. Okay, sorry about that. So I'm gonna walk you through this with a real world example. First, we are gonna make some directory. So what is directory? Directory is tree, okay? So make directory, let's say, how do we say this? Let's say git example. So I'm gonna open this up. There is nothing here yet, right? So I'm going to make, first let's change directory to the git example. Now there is nothing here yet. This will ls-la will show the hidden files as well, but there is nothing. So first we are going to initialize new Git repository in this Git example. So how do we do this? Git init. Init stands for initializing. So you see initialize the empty Git repository in user Sang Kim desktop Git example directory. So now you see there must be .git folder. Okay, now you see there's .git folder, right? So let's check what's inside this .git folder. So in this directory you see head description info refs config blah blah blah, but you can forget all of this, but there's one thing that you need to remember is this object folder. So object folder is where we Git stores all the objects. So commit and tree and blobs. Okay, so to show you this, we will make one file. Oh no, I'm going to show you this first. Let's see what's inside this object folder. So in this object folder, there's nothing much yet. First Git has given us. There's no file or whatsoever. So first, we are going to make a file in this Git example directory. So echo this is text1, and we are going to save it as one text. So in this one.txt, this is text1, right? This went inside this one.txt file. So we have a file now. We have a file called one.txt, okay? So how Git stores data is very simple. We just pass the file or content to the Git, and Git will give back us the 40 digits, which is called SHA-1, SHA-1. This is basically hashed. And how do you hash them? So git hash objects. So basically we will hash the objects, and -w is we are gonna write to this object folder. So what object? So one.txt file. So we want to hash this one.txt file to the object folder. This is what this command do. So we did this, and Git will give back us this SHA-1 hash ID. This is basically 4 digits, and we can identify this one.txt with this key. So let's check what is inside object folder again. And then now you see this 40 digits in object folder, right? We don't know what kind of object this is yet, but you have to remember Git will always take these first two letters as like a subdirectory name. So let's check what type of file, so what type of object this is. So this is basically, oh no, this is type. This is basically inspect what it is. And we are going to use this 40 keys. And what does it say? It says blob. Okay. And this P, what this will do is this will print the content of it. And we are going to use these 40 keys again. This was the blob, right? And what does it say? This is text1. So this is basically one.text, and one.text contains the content of this is text1, right? So it's basically it's same here. So one.text is a blob, it's saved as block, and this blob has a content of this is text1. So one.text, this is file, and this is blob. So as simple as it is. Okay, next I'm gonna introduce you what commit and tree is. I said commit is save button and tree is kind of like a directory. To show you this, I'm going to make more files and another directory. Let's say this is text2, and we will call this 2.text, and let's make a directory called lib, and in this lib I'm going to make another file called 3.text. And if you see here, there's 1.text, 2.text, and there is a lib directory, and lib directory has 3.text, right? Okay, so we haven't made a tree and commit object yet. To make this, we first need to commit. So let's check our status. There is untracked files, 1.text, 2.text, and library, right? So basically we need to add this into our Git repository. So Git has 3 stages. This is working directory. So to permanently save the files, we need first move to the staging area. And staging area is basically where our files being ready to be committed. So to add all these files, we want to add all these files to the staging area because we want to save it permanently. Like git add dot, this will add all the files, git status, and changes to be committed, right? This is the staging area. Basically, they are ready to be committed. And please note that this is where Git takes the snapshot. When you read through every documentation, explanation about the Git, everybody will say Git takes the snapshot of your current project being, right? So this is where Git takes the snapshot, how your project look like. And then let's commit this, and we are gonna put brief information about this. We will say this is first commit. Okay, and this is done. And to check if it's done properly, git log, it will show the log of what you did, and it will say commit, you basically committed, and this commit is given the other 40 keys as well. I said Git stores the data as key value store. So if you pass any objects, any files or directory or whatever, Git will always give this object unique 40 keys. So our commit has this key, 40 keys, and let's check it. Git cat file t, what type of this 40 key is. So it says commit. So what's inside this commit? It says tree. This has tree, right? And tree has a specific key as well, and it will show just brief information about who committed it and our messages to it. And what we are interested is this tree objects. What is this tree objects? I said tree objects is like a directory, right? So let's check what's inside this tree. Oh, sorry. I forgot to copy this. Cat file T and this tree. Okay, in this tree there's two blobs and one tree. Okay, what is these two blobs? First is one text, like what is inside this directory, one text. Second is two text, and like what is inside this Git example and the lib directory, right? So this is basically, this tree is basically as same as what our git-example directory has. And let's check, there is another tree inside this tree, right? And this is called lib. And let's check it again, what is inside this tree. So if we are right, this tree should have this tree.txt. And let's check if that is right. And there you go. This tree has a blob called tree.txt. And this also has a unique key too. So think of it easily. So blob is like a file, but it is not exactly same. Blob is like a file to make life easier. A lib, so directory is like a tree where blobs are stored. You know, well, files are, directory is where files are stored, right? And commit basically points to the tree, as you see the above, right? It has informations about the tree. This tree is git-example, right? So why is commit there? Because when you hit the save button, Git will take the snapshot of how your tree looks like. And when you commit will point to the tree at the time. This tree, this right here. So normally, so why is commit is so useful is these 40 keys, right? It's not really human friendly, but when we do commit, now we know what our files are like in that specific commit. In this specific commit, we know how our file looks like. So let's say you've been working on some project over the months, and now your boss says like, okay, I don't like this. Let's revert to the old versions. And now you have to go back to the older versions. But with these 40 keys, you don't know how to navigate to the specific version you want to go back to. But with this commit, because you have brief information about what your files and trees and like, you know, how your project looks like at the time. So commit enables us to easily navigate, you know, through the files, and you can easily revert your files back into it. So okay, that is it. So this part was really hard for me to understand as well. So don't be frustrated if you don't understand it. And I know my explanation hasn't been really clear and it's not really organized, but I make videos for the people who might need this too. And this is basically log of what I'm learning as a developer as well. To be a developer is more proper to say, I guess. So that is it. If you guys find this helpful, please hit the like button or just let me know at the comment down below. And if there is something you don't understand, just let me know at the comment down below and I will try my best to answer those. Thank you so much.